Hello and welcome everybody on the 19th of April. It is now 10:40 in the morning. It's good to have you here with me on City Hall, San Francisco. It's a little gray today, but nevertheless it's another amazing, beautiful day, capturing some of the images here of San Francisco. Isn't that cute? Slowing down time. Back there you can see the truce sign in the back. We're almost at video 400, I believe, and so this is a very, very significant time. Learned a lot, continue to learn about a lot, especially about myself. And so there, in my capacity as teacher of learning, I'm here to share that with you. Not only what I learn about myself, but also what that has to do in relation to you and your own development. Your own desire to bring about change in your own life. And how to go about that. How to be part of that essence, and how to be fluid, how to be tranquil in the moment, how to be enlightened. That's basically the purpose of the exercise. How to be at one, how to be at peace, at peace. And at one with all. This is something for myself during the path of, I'm many times referred to as a path of forced detachment. I've learned that, I've gained that awareness for myself, that ultimately we are all one. Now I've developed this ability to see myself and others as I'm a very, very open person. When I meet people, it's like I've known them before. And when people reflect on something negative in me, which has happened quite a bit in the past, it helps me to understand things about myself, and there's things that I need to work on. Because ultimately that's what it's all about, you know. Not only what we learn, but it's about how we put it to work. And that's what Realize to Actualize is all about. Learn to work. Get to work. Learn what you want to learn, what you need to learn in order to do or to be where you want to be. It's all up to you. It's all about putting that into practice, and knowledge you gain. Practical application of knowledge. We all have gained knowledge. I don't mean to make it, you know, all about me here. Like when I came, well, if you ever have been on the room on Pal Talk, people have accused me of that because I do talk a lot about myself, my own experiences. And yeah, as a public speaker at heart, I can speak for 3 hours straight, not a problem. So if you'd be interested in a part of an organization that would be interested in hearing more, I'd be happy to even volunteer my services. No doubt about it. A lot's to be talked about. But I kind of lost my train of thought, which is okay. You're just going with the flow, right? As in life. Life is all about that flow and becoming part of that. I come to refer to it or look at it as, you know, God, Mother Nature. It is all about being natural. Look at all the amazing, look at really at nature. And look at we as human beings millions of years ago, when our evolution, quote unquote, has started. Or actually when our evolution has reached a point where we began to create communities and cultures and societies and politics and economics and all these things. And this ultimately changed the balance in this world, of course, because we have moved beyond nature. We separated ourselves from nature. And so we have created this idea of God outside of us and success outside of us. We all look for something, we all pursue. Like here in America especially, the pursuit of happiness. When I came first here, and I became really, I mean, I heard about that growing up in Germany, of course. But I see really what it's done in this culture. How people are basically just all motivated by the need to consume and pursue. And everybody's trying to look for something. And there is something for everybody, it seems. But when it comes to community, when it comes to people living together, when it comes to communication, dialogue, you know, overcoming our need to argue with one another, you know, really listening, learning from and with one another in order to create a better world. That's the purpose. And that's what I am trying to help with my work, with Realize to Actualize. And after almost 400 videos, I'm pretty clear on that now. I really come to find when you do things like this, for example, when you record even your voice, which is a great exercise. I've done that. I began doing this in 1994, shortly after I came to America. And I've done this for basically, like, I would say 10 years, daily. First I had a tape recorder. I used countless tapes, and then I began using a digital recorder, which I've even used when I first came to San Francisco, you know, in Kansas when I became homeless. And I really developed that dialogue with myself, which helped me really to understand myself. And that's ultimately the purpose of the exercise. To really know, knowledge of self, that's key. Also something for, I could just make one recording or even just teach a whole workshop on that, you know, knowledge of self, what that means, and how to go about that. How to really get to know ourselves. And really be in tune with our own feelings and be able to express those. Express our thoughts clearly. And to really put into action what we want for ourselves. To come up with an action plan for ourselves. A plan about what we want to create for ourselves. And that's something that, I know this very well. What I want to create for myself, need to create for myself. And my sweet children who came back from visiting their mom in Kansas for about a week. They're back here in foster care. And I'm very, very much trying to really do what I need to do in order to have my children back with me. And of course, along the way, during my marriage, during the suffering my children were in the middle of, I gained this awareness. I gained the skill, the talent, you know, the ability to communicate openly and clearly about those matters. So, it's just challenging. It's interesting how that is in life. But ultimately, however challenging it is, you got to figure it out. And that's something I'm definitely here to help you with. Well, how to figure it out? You got to figure it out yourself. But I can guide you in the awareness of whatever it is you got to figure out, you got to do. And you got to do what you got to do. That's the thing. And for you to recognize that, you got to take time, which is difficult in our world because we're also driven. We're also busy, right? We do what we do. We take very, very little time to really reflect, to really think. I mean, there's a great amount of workshops, about yoga and meditation and all these things. But when it kind of goes back, to Monday coming, we got to go back to work, right? And we're still caught up in the same problems, in our personal affairs, in our affairs at work, with family, whatever it is. So realize the exercise addresses everything. It's really about to help you, your choices, career, whatever it is, how to be more, less agitated, more peaceful, more in harmony with the world around you, more creative, more able, more, proactive, definitely. Instead of reacting to things, and when things are difficult, it's just like, oh, poor me. It's moving beyond that poor me, that victim mentality. It's really the path from victim to victor. So, that's a symbol here, City Hall, no doubt. And what really will guide us to that is, and I keep coming back to that, I saw that when I first came to San Francisco. I remember coming up there on the Muni, on the underground, and I saw truth. Wow, it's very powerful, very, very powerful indeed. So, what is your truth? Do you know your truth? It's about who you are, what is right. It's not about how people and how the world makes you out to be and the world expects you to be. This is about who you really are. And this is about who you are in others. Especially those people who are difficult for you to deal with. They are your greatest teacher. Because ultimately we're all, the greatest teacher, we're all the mirror. We're all a reflection of one another. We're all an extension of one another. And when people look at me, while I walk here with the camera, it's like people looking at you, looking at them, looking at you, looking at them. And when you really look at people, that's something I'm going to leave you for right now. Next time, even when people are difficult, people argue with you, you just let go and you just allow for it. And you just look at them in the eye, in love, without the need to compete with them or to argue with them or be, somehow reacting to their negative vibe towards you. Just allow for it and be there. And because ultimately this is this is the essence, this is the strength, this is the power. That is what God is all about. That love, that strength, that knowledge, that ultimately we are all one. And there's no need to defend, there's no need to argue. There's only learning, there's only loving. There's only showing our appreciation, being appreciative of one another. First of all, accept one another, and of course be aware of who we are in our human essence. The 3 A's: awareness, acceptance, appreciation. And there are many other concepts. I will talk about those further as time goes on. Again, as video 400 here, I just want to thank you again for being here. It would be great to hear from you, and I hope that helped. I really love to get moving in that direction and really begin developing a structure in terms of study groups and workshops, and also personal, coaching, doing public speaking engagements. If you have an interest in that, I would be happy to hear from you. Anyway, for right now, I say goodbye, and yeah, all the best to you.